Hey, good morning. Happy Monday, January 22. Did you see last week the LA Innocent Project is taking on the case of Scott Peterson? Remember, he was convicted of killing his wife Lacey back in 2004. Oh, and by the way, she was pregnant at the time. Other things is January 19 to February 2, it's the 17th annual Chicago Restaurant Festival. What do you think of that thing right there, huh? Well, also on this date, 1964, the world's largest block of cheese was manufactured, weighing in at 34,591 pounds. Could you imagine what kind of block of cheese is that? You know, today I don't think we'd ever do something like that because we'd be worried about all the cardiac problems associated with a block of cheese like that. Although you're not supposed to eat the whole block of cheese. Come on, people. Anyway, hey, let's get to today's topic. It's that time of year again where employers are mailing out their W-2s and 1099s and all of those things, and the marketplace is sending out the 1095. Make sure that's what the envelope looks like, that you look for yours because you're going to need it when you go file your tax return. And you know, every year I get multiple phone calls of, I met my tax guy, I need it, it's an emergency. Sometimes I have access to the marketplace where I can go and download those things and get them emailed out to you. Sometimes I don't have access. So I do recommend that you look for that envelope in the mail and you make sure that you have that information when you go to your tax guy or when you're preparing your taxes. So one thing about those who have been running their health insurance through the marketplace, if you remember, we ask you very important questions as to household income. And based on that household income, if it's between 150 and 400% of poverty, you may be entitled to and most likely are receiving some type of premium tax credit. But like I said, that's based on income. So if you tell me your income is this high, you might be entitled to that much of a credit. If you tell me it's that high, maybe that much of a credit. If you tell me it's that low, maybe that much of a credit. But it's all justified on your tax return. So one thing we've told you and you've agreed to when you went through the marketplace is that if your information changes over the course of time throughout the year, maybe you get a bonus, maybe you lose a job, maybe you get a promotion or whatnot, that information needs to be shared with the marketplace. A lot of times if you give it to me, I'll put it into the marketplace for you. So that way when you go to get your taxes done, it all balances out and you don't owe a lot of money or you're not getting a lot back. The ideal situation is if you can hit it right on zero. My personal opinion is if you can plus or minus $1,000, hey, you're in a pretty good situation. So from the health insurance perspective, here is some of the reasons why people may be dissatisfied with their tax returns. A few big mistakes people make. One is providing misinformation to the marketplace. Whether intentional or otherwise, it's misinformation because it will justify itself on the tax return. The other thing is people always say, my neighbor says they. Well, you know what? Everybody's situation is very different from yours. So don't look at your neighbor as a barometer because their situation could be different because they got so much money back. Maybe it's because they didn't have as much of a income and therefore they get more of a premium tax credit. They lost a job during the year. Maybe they have more kids than you. Who knows? But don't use them as a barometer because that's where you're going to become very dissatisfied. The other thing is a lot of times you can talk to the insurance company and they have very good hardworking people there, but they're not experts on your situation. They're experts on, you know, this particular product 105 and that particular product 202, and they can look on a screen and see if your premium's paid or not, but they're not experts on your situation. So don't look to them for that kind of advice. And the other thing that is a big mistake is looking to we insurance agents for tax advice. We're insurance agents. We're not tax accountants. So don't look for us for tax advice on your situation. That's a sure way to make sure you're going to be unhappy come April when you file your taxes. So, hey, Mark, what's going at the MLD agency? Well, this week we picked up a couple of really good accounts, and we're renewing a couple of good group accounts, too. So that's what's going on here at the MLD agency, and we're trying to stay warm because last week was a bad week, but we're experiencing some nice days right now. Anyway, until next week, take care.